This channel is brought to you by CampfireShop.com. To support my research and productions, please check it out to buy candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. Welcome along, fellow time travelers. It has been exactly 2 months since Hurricane Helene wreaked havoc on the Asheville area, and my first tour of Biltmore Village to assess the damage. Today I'm bringing you an update. A lot has changed, and yet much remains to be done. Biltmore Village, a historic gem originally built as a community for workers at the Biltmore estate, has seen significant cleanup efforts over the past 2 months. Streets have been cleared, traffic is moving again, and life is slowly returning to this enchanting area. The village, known for its picturesque, repurposed historic buildings, once housed a vibrant collection of boutiques, cafes, and galleries. While the area itself is starting to look more like its former self, many businesses remain shuttered, and it's unclear how long it will take for them to reopen, if they do at all. On the outskirts of the village, contemporary businesses like fast food restaurants and chain stores have suffered extensive damage. Many of these structures were completely destroyed and will need to be torn down. The question remains whether they will be rebuilt or if this part of the community will remain empty for the foreseeable future. After touring Biltmore Village, I traveled to Fairview, a small community just south of Asheville. Fairview is known for its quiet, scenic charm, but the destruction here was heartbreaking. The river that runs alongside the main road surged during Hurricane Helene, causing devastating floods. Houses close to the river were either destroyed outright or heavily damaged. Many vehicles were abandoned, washed away by the torrent, and sidewalks along the main drag have collapsed into the water. The area is a stark reminder of nature's power and the vulnerability of our infrastructure when such storms strike. Fairview's recovery process appears to be slower than in Biltmore Village, in part due to its more rural setting and fewer resources. Many of the homes that survived, particularly those near the river, are uninhabitable until structural engineers can determine their safety. Disputes are delaying the return of many residents, leaving neighborhoods eerily empty. As you may know, J.D. Vance has been present, which has helped provide assistance to residents, but frustrations are growing over the pace of recovery efforts. Local community groups are stepping in where they can, but the road to rebuilding Fairview is a long one. Next, I revisited Old Fort. As you can see, many of these homes have an interesting construction in order to help guard them against flooding from the nearby river. These elevated structures weathered the storm remarkably well, standing intact amidst the chaos. However, even these homes face challenges. It looks like residents are unable to return until they secure approvals from insurance companies and engineers, leaving them in limbo. In contrast, homes and buildings at ground level were hit the hardest, with many completely washed away or left in ruins. The floodwaters swept through Old Fort with such force that many of the homes that were not on secure foundations were damaged beyond repair. Streets remain littered with debris, and abandoned vehicles sit as grim markers of the storm's impact. Despite this, the community spirit in Old Fort is strong. Residents are coming together to rebuild, and local leaders are working to ensure that future construction is more flood resistant. Across all the affected areas, FEMA has been a critical presence. They have provided some temporary housing, financial assistance, and resources to help families start over. However, the scope of the disaster has stretched their resources thin. Many residents have expressed frustration with the bureaucracy involved in securing aid, and the delays in receiving assistance have only added to their struggles. Throughout North Carolina, some people have said that FEMA has been helping with distributing emergency supplies, but the scale of need is overwhelming. Additionally, questions about long-term rebuilding efforts remain unanswered. Will stricter building codes be enforced? Will communities be required to elevate homes? Or will buyouts be offered for properties in high-risk areas? These are just a few of the concerns weighing on residents. One organization that has stood out for its tireless efforts is Samaritan's Purse. This faith-based disaster relief group has been on the ground since the storm subsided, providing immediate aid and organizing volunteer efforts. They've cleared debris, repaired roofs, and provided food and supplies to those in need. Unlike some private fundraising efforts that have raised questions about transparency, Samaritan's Purse has a well-established reputation for reliability and integrity. So, if you're looking for ways to support the recovery efforts, I recommend donating to reputable organizations like Samaritan's Purse. While there's been a surge of individuals and groups raising money for hurricane relief, not all of them are legitimate. Be cautious about where you send your money and prioritize organizations with proven track records. While the physical destruction is staggering, it's the human stories that truly illustrate the impact of Hurricane Helene. Families have lost homes, businesses, and livelihoods. Many are grappling with the emotional toll of losing everything they've worked for. Yet, amidst the tragedy, there are glimmers of hope. Neighbors are helping neighbors, volunteers are stepping up, and communities are finding ways to support one another. Some local churches have turned their fellowship halls into temporary shelters for displaced families. Volunteers have been organizing fundraisers to support business owners who are struggling to reopen. These small acts of kindness remind us that even in the darkest times, humanity shines through. I will be staying on the Biltmore estate during New Year's Eve, and I'll be returning to the Biltmore Village. I'm hopeful that the progress we've seen so far will continue. I'll be sharing another update about Biltmore Village then, including a look at the ongoing recovery efforts at the Biltmore estate. I'll also be keeping an eye on the broader recovery efforts in Fairview, Old Fort, and other affected areas. The cleanup has been impressive, but there's still a long way to go. The question remains, how can these communities rebuild in a way that preserves their unique character while also making them more resilient to future storms? As I document this recovery, I'm committed to focusing on the positive stories, the stories of resilience, hope, and determination. There's already enough disaster coverage out there, and while it's important to acknowledge the challenges, I believe it's equally important to celebrate the progress. That's why I'm steering clear of sensationalized disaster porn and unverified information. Instead, I want to share stories that inspire and uplift. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of the destruction and recovery efforts in and around Asheville and other small towns in the area? Has the extent of the damage surprised you? Are you optimistic about the future of these communities? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and perspectives are always valuable. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.